What are your weaknesses? This is one of the typical questions that you will hear in an interview. But it is a difficult question. Many people don't know what to say in answering it. How can we handle the question? Just follow me. I will show you some tips to answer the question. Are you ready? Okay. Your goal in answering the question is to name a weakness. It's difficult, right? Because how can I know weakness of myself? What is a weakness? It's something that causes you problems that can be improved, something that you can make better. Again, causes you problems that can be improved, that you can make better. Be sure, you can't mention a strength and say that it's a weakness. For example, you cannot say, well, one of my weaknesses is I work too hard. I'm a workaholic. It means you work too much? The interviewer is happy to hear it. That is a strength, not a weakness. And the interviewer will see that you're not really answering the question. So, remember, don't try to use things that are strengths and call them weaknesses. Then, how can you say, okay? Instead, you should keep the weakness a minor one, or a small one. Again, keep the weakness a minor one, or a small one. Don't mention a big problem you have, mention a smaller weakness, a smaller part of you that needs to be improved upon. For example, if like to show up late, meaning come to work late every day, it's showing you're lazy, and of course you don't say that's one of your weaknesses. Or, you like to steal from the company, definitely not something you say as one of your weaknesses, even if it is. Just joking. Instead, you should pick some things that are less important to tell the interviewer. Besides, you also say how you can improve in this area of weakness, how you can make yourself better. In fact, you want to show that you are already making yourself better in terms of this weakness. Uphill now it's been easy, not difficult as we thought. Do you agree? One important thing is you should give some specific evidence or examples of how you are working to overcome, or to improve upon your weakness. You give them an example of what you're doing to improve yourself, to improve this weakness that you have. Here are some options in answering this question. First, you can tell the interviewer about a weakness that you have already improved, you have already overcome, you have already made better. For example, you used to get nervous when you had to call someone on the telephone, but after you got some training, after you talked to friends and your supervisor, you did practice in 2-week time. Now you don't have that weakness anymore. So, now not only you're telling the interviewer about a weakness, but also you're telling them about how you already made it better at the moment. Second, another option is to tell the interviewer about some mistake, some error that you made in the past to show how you learned from that mistake, how you learned from that error. You can say that you did something wrong in one of your previous jobs, but that you learned from that and now you became stronger. Therefore, the mistake is the weakness, but you also show how you became better already. Third, you can tell the interviewer about a weakness that doesn't relate directly to what you are going to be doing on this job. It doesn't relate to the duties or the things that you have to do for the job. Then it may be a weakness that's not related to the things you are expected to do in the job. For instance, I'm a very fast person, I work fast, talk fast, and think fast. The negative effect includes that I become impatient when people are slower than I am. I have to admit, it makes me a bit annoyed when I meet individuals who talk slowly or decide to take their time finishing a task that I know I could do faster. One of the solutions I found is breathing techniques. When I feel angry or upset, I take 3 big breaths and I try to calm myself down. This definitely has proven my impatient behavior, and I feel calmer and more relaxed even when my impatience is justifiable. Here are other weaknesses that you can use to answer the question. In the past I sometimes lost patience when I attended long meetings. What I do now is I prepare myself mentally before each meeting to expect a certain amount of discussion. With that expectation in my mind, it helps me a lot to be more patient and to be a better listener. I'm a very friendly and extroverted person, so integrating into a team was never a problem for me. However, wanting to integrate too fast into a well-accustomed team has caused some discomfort in the past. For example, in ABC Company I've joined a team that's been working together for the past years. They had their own inside jokes, pace, and structure of working together, and while I was trying really hard to fit into the group, my behavior was seen rather impatient and strained than appreciated and welcomed. When I realized that, I stopped trying, and eventually new experiences brought me closer to the team. I've learned that not every team is the same, and that time and patience will bring about the connection team members should have with each other. In the past, when I'm working on a big project, I focus too much on the details. But now, I always spend a few minutes at the end of each day sitting back and thinking about the general scope of my work, what's done, what's not. It will help me to keep priorities and keep the right mindset. I used to have some problems with organization in the past. Now, I keep a scheduled book with me at all times throughout the day, and that keeps me on track. When I finish a task, I double-check my work comparatively many times, just to be on the safe side. Therefore, I tend to finish my tasks a bit slower than others, but it's because I want to make sure that every detail and number is correct, and that we don't generate any losses due to mistakes. I try to ease this quality with setting up rules, like I will not double-check a task more than 3 times. In short, your goal in answering the question is to name weaknesses that can be improved already and small error, or not affected to the job. Don't try to present a strength as a weakness, such as being a workaholic or being too detail-oriented. Keep the weakness a small one. Show how you are working to improve on your weakness. Give specific evidence or examples of how you're working to overcome your weakness. Tell a weakness you have already overcome. Tell a mistake you made in the past to show that you can learn from your mistakes. Tell a weakness that does not relate to the duties of this job. Here is an example. A weakness that I had was that I got nervous and I didn't like to do public speaking. And was so scared when I had to give a presentation or a speech in front of other people. I realized that I couldn't do any public speaking in this job. This may affect my job performance and career advancement opportunities. So I decided to do something to overcome this fear. To combat the fear of public speaking, I took a public speaking class a few months ago, and after I finished the course, I joined a public speaking club. I have been going to the club meetings regularly, and I give speeches in front of other members, and I get constructive criticism about my performance. I can say that in the past 3 months, I have become a better and more confident speaker. It's really wonderful for me. I believe I can be even better, so I've continued to attend meetings, and to look for opportunities to put into practice what I've learned. I'm confident that in a very short time, I'll be a better and more effective speaker and presenter at the moment.